Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. Stupid. So I'm gonna be going over every single movie I watched in January and giving it a thumbs up or a thumbs down and telling you the basics of what I did and did not like about it. So New Year's Eve night, so technically we were going into the New Year's, watched Into the Spiderverse. Thumbs up. I've seen it before. Great. Possibly one of the best superhero movies ever. Definitely the best Marvel movie. I know it's Sony, but I'd count it as a Marvel movie because Marvel and Disney own most of the Spider-Man properties by now, so it's a Marvel movie. By Marvel movie standards, I would put it at the #1 Marvel movie. Then, New Year's Day, Harry Potter 20th anniversary. I'm gonna close my window. So rude. So the Harry Potter 20th anniversary was a documentary, and I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. It was actually entertaining. I actually really liked it, especially as a Potterhead. I enjoyed it, and I especially enjoyed how they pretty much denounced everything to J.K. Rowling. Love that for them. Malignant, thumbs up. I hate this movie. And I know you might be thinking, what? You just gave it a thumbs up. Yeah, I hate it and I love it. I'm obsessed with this movie. I watched this movie like 6 times or something. And it came out last October, I think. Last September or October. It is horrible. But that's what's so good about it. It's intentionally horrible from what I've been able to figure out. The first time I watched it, didn't get it. I mean, I was cracking my ass up, but I didn't realize that it was intentional. I was like, what happened to James Wan? Did James Wan get in a car crash and then like make this? But no, it's definitely on purpose. Like the mistakes are so insane. Like the fact that everyone looks like they're from the 70s, even though it's supposed to be in modern day. And I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but just like there's one part where they almost drive a car off of a cliff and it's like they act like nothing happened. It's just all the gags and stuff, it has to be intentional, and it's great. It's definitely really, really fun to watch, so I recommend watching it. Spider-Man No Way Home, thumbs up. I really liked it. It's definitely my favorite of like the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, and I know it's purely kind of running off of nostalgia. It's one of those movies that it knows what it is. It knows it's fan service, and it's okay with that, and I really respect that, actually. I thought it was really good. I liked seeing Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire reprise their roles. Spoiler, they're in it. I think by now everyone knows that. I won't really say anything about it because I know a lot of people don't want spoilers for this. But, you know, as much as Tobey Maguire, like I think the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies are better than the Andrew Garfield ones, obviously. Andrew Garfield's always been my favorite Spider-Man. I think that just because the movies were shitty doesn't mean that, you know, him as Peter Parker was shitty. And so I'm really, really happy that it means that Amazing Spider-Man 3 is most likely in the works, and I actually have a video coming out about that soon. Then I watched Mystery Men. I've seen Mystery Men before. Thumbs up. My dad showed it to me. It's a movie from the 80s. First time I watched it, we watched it like 5 times in 1 week, I think. It's a really good parody of like superhero movies, and it's just really funny. It's got like Ben Stiller and the guy who plays Pee-wee Herman and stuff like that in it, and it's just ridiculous. It's just a fun time. I mean, obviously there's some stuff in it that like didn't age great. Also, wait, I just realized I said it's from the 80s. It's not from the 80s. It looks like it's from the 80s. And tonally, it makes you think that it's from the 80s, but it's not. It's from, I want to say 99. It had All Stars in it. You know, the song by Smash Mouth. So it's recent enough to have All Star in it. Then The Handmaiden. My boyfriend showed me this one. It is a Korean, like, thriller, suspense. I don't really know how to describe it. But it is really triggering. If you're triggered by like sexual assault or like if you get stressed out really easily, I don't recommend watching it. But I 100% give it a thumbs up. It's a really, really well-made movie. I like all the twists and turns. I thought it was really compelling. Plus, I love period piece dramas, especially if they're gay. And this movie is... We love a good lesbian period piece. Then Fear Street Part 1, I was showing this to my boyfriend, and Fear Street Part 2. We didn't get to Fear Street Part 3, but thumbs up for all of them. So far, we only have thumbs up, which is really good. But I love the Fear Street series. I've seen it like maybe 5 times all the way through by now. I love the soundtracks in them. They're one of those movies that's like, yeah, they're not technically the best, but I think that they're really solid for what they are. I think that they could go through a lot of editing. I honestly think it could be 2 movies, and I would love to do my own cut of it, which I know like I can't do for legal reasons, but I'll probably make it just for myself, because I think that the 6 hours could very easily and should go down to about 4 hours. I know a lot of like the tunnel scene in the second one is just way too long, but yeah, overall thumbs up for sure. Then Ponyo, thumbs up, seen it a billion times. Love it. Love Ponyo. I love Ponyo like Ponyo loves ham, which is a lot. It's not my favorite Ghibli movie, but it's really far up there. I think it definitely has the most rewatchability for me because My Neighbor Totoro was the one that I really grew up with and have probably seen the most, but it's almost too nostalgic, if that makes sense. Like it really takes me to another place, and I'm not always in the mood to do that. Whereas Ponyo, I can put it on in the background and just have fun with it. Malignant, again, I told you I'm obsessed with this movie. Thumbs up, obviously. Dark Shadows, I'm only supposed to do thumbs up and thumbs down. I've made that rule for myself. So I'm gonna give it a thumbs down. I would give it in the middle, but I can't do that. So I feel like I'm leaning more towards thumbs down. I enjoyed watching it, but I would never watch it again. It wasn't like bad necessarily, but the story was strange. And by the story was strange, I mean the pacing was really odd. Like none of the relationships felt real. The relationship between Johnny Depp and the girl that he ends up with, like, didn't feel like they literally had no scenes together. It didn't make any sense. And then him with Helena Bonham Carter didn't really make sense. None of it made sense. I felt like there was so much unnecessary stuff in it that didn't need to be there, and what they should have done at that time instead was expand the relationships between the people within the house, because that's what I was actually interested in. I've been watching a lot of What We Do in the Shadows. I've become like obsessed with that show. I love it. I finished it. It's great. I cannot wait for the next season. And I don't know. It's like, I know they're not the same thing, obviously, but they're in a house, vampire, you know, mostly comedy. What We Do in the Shadows is comedy. Dark Shadows is comedy drama. And I just feel like What We Do in the Shadows does it so much better. Like, the relationships between the people feels real, and it doesn't feel like they're shoving exposition down our throat, yet it still feels like we're learning and actually caring about them. Dark Shadows really, it just didn't seem to have heart, was my biggest problem. Visually, it's really nice. I think the acting is fine. But it's very forgettable. Kick-Ass, thumbs up. I really liked Kick-Ass. It was actually my first time seeing it, which is really surprising for me. I actually asked pretty much it on Twitter. I don't know if you know them. If you don't know them, then you should, because I'm basically a rip-off them. But, so I asked Eric on Twitter, and he said that I shouldn't watch Kick-Ass 2, so I didn't watch Kick-Ass 2, because he said it wasn't really worth it, and I don't want to taint my view of the first one. First one, on a technical level, it's just, like, pretty good, but there's something about it that really is inspirational. Like, it makes me want to be a superhero so bad. But unfortunately, I'm not rich enough to be a superhero without superpowers like Batman, so, you know, oops. Don't Look Up. I really, really, really wish I could do Sideways. The reason I didn't is because I want to give definitive answers. And I don't want to do ratings, because I feel like the more I sit on it, the more my ratings are going to change. Whereas I feel like thumbs up, thumbs down, that won't really change over time. I'm going to have to give it a thumbs down. I would give it a middle, but I feel like I'm leaning more thumbs down. I wouldn't really watch it again. I enjoyed watching it the first time, but I just felt like there was something off about the entire time. I felt like the jokes weren't fully there. I felt like the message wasn't fully there. It just felt really sterile and fake a lot of the time. I really liked what they were going for, and I feel like it was really like out there what they were going for, but I just don't really feel like it worked the way that they wanted it to work and the way that I wanted it to work. I wanted it to work so bad, but I just ended up walking away kind of disappointed, though I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people are making out to be. Addams Family Values, thumbs up. I've seen it before, but it was a while ago. I forced my family to watch it. My parents didn't want to watch it, but I made them. And we all had fun. I really liked it. I think it's better than the first one. I honestly like the 90s Addams Family the most. I have seen the original show, and I like certain actors in that better, but I think overall, I really feel like they expanded the universe and fully fleshed out the characters the most, and like the newer ones, I guess they're not the newest, but the 90s ones. And yeah, I just overall thought it was really funny, and it stuck. Now You See Me, thumbs up. I really like Now You See Me. I hadn't seen it in a long time though, but the scenes are so memorable. I feel like there's something so epic about it. I miss when movies used to do that. I feel like they don't do that anymore, where movies don't really feel like movies to me, in the sense that for a while back in like the early 2010s, everything felt so epic. Like The Hunger Games came out, Breaking Dawn Part 2, like into the Twilight series, Inception, all these movies with these huge soundtracks, and they're like, bah! And you go in and you come out of the theater like excited, like you want to kick things. I miss that feeling. I miss that feeling so much, and I want movies. I don't care if they're stupid. I think that's why I liked Malignant, was like, I don't care if it's stupid if it makes me feel something. Now You See Me, I think is actually kind of really clever for what it is. I mean, it's ridiculous, and it's magic. Like, you're not fooling one. This is not like magicians. These are like magic. They're not even in the eye yet, and somehow they still have magic. Like, that shit's not possible. However, it is so fun, and I love shit like that. I love the stuff where it's just like little puzzles and stuff. I love movies like that, so I really like it, and I feel like everything ties together really well. Crimson Peak, thumbs up. Really surprised, didn't expect myself to like it. I remember seeing the trailers when I was younger and not being old enough to go see it, especially because there's like sex and stuff, and I was about to mention something else, but that's a big spoiler, so I didn't mention it. But my parents wouldn't let me go see it when it first came out, and then I kind of forgot about it by the time I got old enough, and I really liked it. Guillermo del Toro's monsters and the way he shoots movies, as always, are really interesting, especially period pieces. To me, it kind of felt like a Jane Austen movie. It kind of felt like Emma, but with ghosts and backstabbing, and I loved it. It was really fun. Visually, it's really cool. There were things that I would have changed about it, but overall, it's really enchanting. Like, it really brings you into that world, and it had me and my friend Lucy, we watched it together, we were spending the night, like, captivated. We were just hooked to the screen. It was so fun. Then Encanto, loved it. Did not expect to love it. Most excited a Disney movie has made me. Was it Disney or Pixar? Disney. I think it's Disney. Yeah, it's Disney. Most excited that a Disney movie has made me since Tangled, which is kind of like my princess. She came out when I was like younger. She was my first like, this is my princess. Because Frozen, I was a little too old. But Rapunzel was like, wow, this is a new princess for me. And Encanto was wonderful. I felt like the pacing towards the end was a little weird, but that's the only thing I didn't like. I liked the music. I mean, obviously it's not the best, but I think on terms of like Disney movie musicals, I felt like it was really strong. The characters were all really interesting and really different, and I felt like they all actually got time to shine, and you actually figure out who they were. It kind of did what Dark Shadows did, but like actually well. Like, I actually cared about all the characters. There's a big cast of characters, and I cared about all of them. I was able to distinguish them. I knew what was going on, and that's what hooked me the most, was like the environments and the characters. So yeah, I definitely would think that an Encanto like mini series would work really well, possibly in the future with future generations, or kind of expanding on the characters that didn't get a lot of time. I feel like another movie wouldn't work as well as a TV series would. 22 Jump Street, good. I'd already showed my parents 21 Jump Street, so I want to show them the 22 Jump Street. Obviously, it's not as good as the original. That's kind of what 22 Jump Street's all about, is that sequels are never as good as the originals, but I still really like it. It's really funny. It's actually surprisingly funny for one of those types of movies, because I feel like a lot of times they're like entertaining to watch but not that funny, like Seth Rogen movies and Jonah Hill movies and stuff like that. I just don't feel like I actually am laughing out loud at them very often, but I really like the 21 Jump Street franchise, and you know, as much as I want more, I know for like the franchise's sake they shouldn't make more. Now You See Me Too, thumbs up overall, but it's insanely weak compared to the first one, mostly because of the fact that the only way that they could really make it make sense is to retcon like the entire ending of the first one. I don't want to give spoilers, but again, it's just fun to see them do little things, and I do feel like they made the best out of like a bad situation, by which I mean like you get greenlit for a sequel, you gotta come up with something, and I feel like they did the best thing that they could have done. So I liked that. Bratz the movie, thumbs down. Worst movie I think I've ever fucking seen. And no, I'm not frozen. I'm just flabbergasted. I grew up with the Barbie movies. This is not an animated Bratz movie. This is the live action one. I've actually never seen the animated Bratz movie, and I may do that. I feel like you guys would want that because you like my Barbie series. But I hated it. I hated it. It's horrible. Horrible. Boring, no plot, worst pacing, so long. It's like 2 hours long. It's a live action early 2000s Bratz movie. Why is it so long? I hated it. I hated it. I can't, I want that time back. I want the time back. Willy's Wonderland, thumbs down. I would give it a middle, but thumbs down. It was something to watch. That's such a not compliment. That's so mean. But it is something to watch. I watched it with my dad because we like watching Nick Cage movies. And he doesn't say a single word in it, which I actually found really interesting. And I actually kind of liked that. I felt like his character, he was the best part of it by far. His character was fun. I thought the premise was fun. If you're looking for like a cheesy, I want to see things get beat up horror movie, then I would watch it. Not really horror, more like thriller. But I mean, it was fun, but technically, like acting, you know, pacing, it didn't hook me, especially the animatronics themselves. It's essentially like a Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff / parody. A big problem I had was like it doesn't seem, at times it was really tongue-in-cheek and parody-ish, but it wasn't fully going for it, so I couldn't tell whether it was attempting to be a parody or not. And I think it was trying to have its cake and eat it too, which is not what you want in a movie. But the biggest fault, in my opinion, was the animatronics. I felt like it was just way too obvious that they were just people in like fursuits. The way that they moved, the way that like they were hit, the texture, it didn't read as animatronic to me at all. It read as like person in a suit. Scream 1, thumbs up, loved it. Surprisingly, I've never seen it before. I know that like classic horror movies are good, but sometimes they're just good for the time. They're not good for like now. But I felt like it actually held up by today's standards. I loved like how meta it is. It's just fun. Then Scream 2, loved it. I liked the ending of the first one more, but there were parts of the second one I think I liked more. I liked the college environment. I think I was more interested in Sydney. I really, really like Scream 1 and 2 a lot. Scream 3, overall thumbs down, just because it wasn't really focused on Sydney, and I felt like that was a huge fault, because Neve Campbell is like so charismatic on screen, and I just didn't feel like it focusing on like Dewey and Gale was as interesting. Scream 4, overall thumbs down. I liked the scene where Emma Roberts threw herself into the picture. That doesn't tell you anything. That's not really a spoiler, even though it's at the end of the movie. That was slapstick, and I loved it. I love that scene. That scene was really, really fun. But overall, I just didn't really like it. And I think a big part of that comes from the fact that Emma Roberts didn't do a very good job. Like, I didn't feel like she was that good of an actor. But I like the premise of it. Scream 5, overall thumbs up. Compared to the first and second one, I felt like it kind of fell flat. However, I do think it is a really strong and honest, like, kickstart into, like, them expanding. Because they've already greenlit a Scream 6, and I'm excited. Also, please bring Stu back. I know that isn't possible, but they've retconned shit before. Retcon it. Stu's alive. Bring it back. Also, they never said what happened at the end of Scream 4. It ended before we found out, really, and Scream 5 didn't mention it. So I'm thinking Scream 4 villain and Stu could come back. Maybe not at the same time. Though that'd be interesting. 2 killers. Again, spoiler. I shouldn't give spoilers for Scream, the first Scream. It's Scream. Come on. It's been out for a long time. You can't get mad at me at that. You can't get mad at me for that. Come on. Labyrinth, thumbs up. Seen it a billion times. One of my favorite movies. 80s, David Bowie bulge. I'll be having a commentary track for that come out pretty soon. I was showing it to my friend Luke, who'd never seen it or heard of it or heard of David Bowie. Are you kidding me? But yeah, they really liked it. I really liked it. Obviously, I've seen it a billion times. It never gets old for me. Yeah, great. Voyagers. I hated it. It's a new movie and it feels really old somehow. It's got the guy from Dunkirk and Bandersnatch in it, and Lily Rose Depp, and this other guy, I can't remember what he's been in, but you know, it's got some recognizable actors, and it was just bad. I felt like at first I was kind of intrigued because of the way that, like, the cinematography was done. It was interesting. I found it captivating at first, and then I very, 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 very quickly got over it. They abandoned all the unique cinematography stuff. It just got boring, and it just became Lord of the Flies in space, and not like Lord of the Flies in space with a twist. It was just Lord of the Flies in space, but cheesier, no real strong dialogue. It wasn't compelling. It felt like the characters that were supposed to be really smart were making really stupid decisions, and so it just felt like they were shoving a message down our face that, like, they didn't deserve. Mamma Mia, overall thumbs up. It was my first time seeing it. I actually really liked it. I think that if it wasn't ABBA music, it would be a thumbs down. Because the thing is like, the music makes it, but it's a jukebox musical, so the music wasn't written for the movie. So, like, does it count? I like ABBA songs a lot. They're not, like, one of my favorite bands or anything, but I actually really do like their music. And I felt like the movie was really cute. It was very cute, and I'm excited to see Mamma Mia 2. But, I mean, thumbs up, but tentatively. I liked it. If a friend asked to watch it with me again, I would say yes, which is why it's a thumbs up. Reminiscence, thumbs up, surprisingly. I thought I was gonna hate it. I thought I was really gonna hate it. I actually kind of liked it. I felt like it was like a film noir. I'm not even really a Hugh Jackman fan. I just kind of liked it. It was weird. I'm not usually into, like, murder mysteries and, like, mysteries and film noirs and a detective movie, but it was a really unique take on that. And I really liked the concept. I liked a lot of the stuff that they did. I don't want to mention specifics because I think you guys should actually go see it. But I think, honestly, the reason it didn't get good reviews is because no one saw it. I wouldn't have seen it if I wasn't watching it with a commentary track. I wouldn't have even known it existed. So, yeah, this is one that I really recommend giving a watch because I feel like otherwise you would never have even heard of it. And I feel like just try. Just get 30 minutes in. If you don't like it 30 minutes in, just shut it off. But if you find yourself surprisingly captivated, then just continue with it. It's not something I think I'd watch a ton of times in my life, but it's definitely something I would consider like showing someone for sure. And then finally, Passengers. Passengers was really bad. Thumbs down. Wow, wow. It was more enjoyable than Voyagers. The same movie. It's all the same movie. But I don't know. I don't care about Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence's fake relationship in this movie. I don't care. I care much more about, like, the ship and the whole, like, year that they brushed past of Chris Pratt living alone in this spaceship when he wakes up too early. I care about that. Show me that. Show me, like, it's so obvious that the bar is inspired by The Shining. So let's go full Shining. That's much more interesting. Lord of the Flies in space, I want The Shining in space. That's what I want. I want that. Wait, that makes me excited. I want The Shining in space. So yeah. Way too loud. That's it. I'll be doing one of these for every month of the year. That was my New Year's resolution. So if you guys like this, please let me know. If you don't like it, I'm gonna cry because I've already signed myself up to do this every month of the year. But if you guys think it should be a different format, then please let me know that. Because I'm interested. I think this format works fine, but I would be interested if you guys would be more into me doing like one short for each movie, or like it wouldn't have to be one long video. It could be me giving thumbs up and thumbs downs for all the movies in the beginning, and then at the end actually going in more in depth. But it's whatever you guys want. So yeah, bye, thank you, and that was January 2022.